We'll gather round friends for yet another electrifying installment of the Grumpy Sysadmin. Today's tantalizing topic, the joy of updating your computer, as well as that glorious landfill of all that software you've managed to cram into it. Yes, this is going to be about as exciting as charting the growth of your lawn minute by glorious minute, or the odoriferous journey that is laundering of your socks. Life's just a thrilling ride of non-stop excitement, isn't it?
Welcome to the Grumpy Sysadmin. Think updating's a drag? Skip it and watch your very own digital dumpster fire.
So why, you may ask, do I liken the thrill of computer maintenance to such mundane chores? Well, my dear friends, it's because keeping your computer in shape is the unsung hero of monotony, akin to the dazzling thrill of dental hygiene or the sensual pleasure of changing your underpants. No, it doesn't get its own fanfare or parade, but oh boy, is it necessary. Just another necessary mindless task in our thrilling existence. So buckle up and let's get updating. All right now, by another show of hands then, who among you saints of procrastination bother to regularly update your computers? Come on now, don't be shy. Really, that's it. The lot of you are about as attentive to updates as a teenager is to advice about life. Now let me pose another question, of which I'm sure will reveal an absolute paradox. How many of you cling to that semi-useless donut of a spare tire hiding in the trunk of your car? Or maybe you're the type to squirrel away a secret stash of 20s or 50s in your wallet, or carry around some other preventative doodad for those unexpected moments of catastrophe. Oh, look at that! Almost all of you. So I'm compelled to ask, why don't you extend the same vigilance, the same just-in-case mentality to something as vital as your computer? Oh, let me guess. It's because it's just there, and it just works, right? Well, with that lax mindset, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when your trusted companion will crash and burn. Updating your computer is almost as important as backing up your data, but that's a topic for a different video. Well, here's a head scratcher for you. Why would you overlook updating your computer, this vital cog in the grand mechanism of your digital existence? Why would you keep that digital companion you rely on, count on, and seemingly can't live without as up to date as much as you possibly could? Consider this its virtual equivalent of an oil change for your car. You know, that very same car you're 5,000 miles overdue for an oil change on? Yeah, that one. That's right. Don't think we didn't notice. Oh, but my machine doesn't need it, you proclaim from your throne of complacency. Well, my dear techno-peasants, let's not forget that life is like a fickle trickster. It loves to slap us upside the head with reminders of who's really in charge. And here's a hint. It ain't us. It's the digital gods we've been so brazenly defying by neglecting our duty of updates. And trust me, their wrath, it's not pretty. And so, what has this apathy towards update brought us all? Well, this collective disregard for our own digital well-being, or at least the well-being of your digital device, has reached such epic proportions that our dear friends at Microsoft and other developers have graciously decided to take matters into their own saintly hands. That's right, they're making it oh so difficult for you to play ostrich and bury your head in the sand anymore. Isn't that just sweet of them? Oh, and you think turning your computer off at night will save you? Microsoft has outsmarted you yet again, my friend. They've made it next to impossible to truly switch off your machine without installing the updates that they, in their infinite wisdom, have deemed necessary for you. Really, it's like a modern-day version of 1984. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, Microsoft. We didn't know we needed a nanny. But here you are, tucking us in and making sure we're all up to date. Aren't we lucky? But by all means, my technologically oblivious companions, do continue to neglect the health of your machines. After all, installing updates is just the intelligent thing to do. Yes, I can practically hear you grumbling about that one time when an update sent your machine into a lovely unplanned voyage to the bottom of the digital sea. But let's be real, those Titanic-style expeditions are rare. They're more akin to seeing a unicorn prance across your lawn than an everyday occurrence. So yes, the benefits of keeping your computer updated far outweigh the frozen screens of death or your laptop's impersonation of a driftwood bobbing along in the icy waters of a digital apocalypse. I'm not claiming that every single update will always run as smoothly as a warm knife through butter, or that you won't sometimes be greeted by a cryptic message, or that your machine won't occasionally hang on a reboot as if it's contemplating the mysteries of the universe. But hey, odds are on your side. 99 times out of 100, it's pretty smooth sailing. And for those unfortunate times when you stumble upon that mythical 1 in 100 instance when things go haywire, well, first, maybe you should buy a lottery ticket. And secondly, maybe that's because the update has merely illuminated an issue that's already lurking in the shadows. Kind of like putting a spotlight on your dirty laundry. You are likely due for a reinstall anyway. So, either way, you're golden! Your machine will either be gloriously up to date, or if you've been following my previous advice, of which I am not holding my breath on, your backups will be ready to leap into action, saving your digital life. So pat yourselves on the back, folks. You're as prepared as you can be for the next technological nightmare. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to bellow this one last time for the cheap seats in the back. Before you even consider installing updates, check your bloody backups. It's not rocket science, people. Oh yeah, I can see that vacant look. Yes, you over there. You who somehow managed to pay attention to my early videos. This is the kind of advice you want to staple to your forehead. Always make sure your data is safely tucked away in a backup before you even dream of updating anything. Because Murphy's Law is real and not just a cute saying. Should anything decide to go belly flop on you, and trust me, if you're not backing up your data, it's not just an if. It's squarely on your shoulders to play digital doctor and recover your machine or your data from your own backups. Okay, folks, brace yourselves. I'm about to dive into a rant on why you should keep your machine up to date. Bug fixes. Listen, programmers may seem like wizards, but even Dumbledore messed up once in a while. Things go wrong, mistakes are made, and sometimes your system has a meltdown like a toddler denied candy. Bug fixes are there to handle these temper tantrums and other pesky issues that arise. Of course, some jokers say it's just swapping old bugs for new ones, but hey, we can dream, right? Security and vulnerabilities. Let's face it, the world is a cesspool, and your computer is a shining pearl waiting to be swiped. Yes, there are miscreants out there cooking up programs just to turn your PC into a steaming, smoking paperweight. Not to mention the data thieves who'd love to email your entire contact list begging for money from dear old Aunt Gertrude. Or better yet, they'd love to crypto-lock your hard drive tighter than Fort Knox. Web browser updates. Our trusty window to the World Wide Web. Imagine having to use a phone book or a map again. The horror! And guess what? Your precious browser is just as susceptible to bugs and problems as your operating system. If a browser update shows up, slam that install button like you're playing whack-a-mole. If the developers bother to nag millions of users with an update, it's because they found a hole in their code big enough to drive a truck through. Driver updates. You know that fancy 3D printer or VR headset that you got? Well, the drivers that let your computer chat with them aren't foolproof. They're often as glitchy as an old VHS tape. Driver updates can fix bugs, enhance stability, and unlock new features in your hardware. So, you want to know what really makes me grumpy about computer updates? First off, Who decided that the best time to auto-install an update is right when I'm in the middle of the most important task of that day? Oh, I'm sorry. Life-changing presentation that took me 6 months to prepare? You'll just have to wait because your computer has decided that now is the perfect time to add a new and utterly useless emoji to its collection. And speaking of timing, what voodoo or black magic is used to determine the estimated time for these things? Estimated time, 15 minutes. Right, fast forward 2 hours and it's still taunting me with just a moment.
A few moments later.
The suspense too. It's like watching the world's worst thriller movie. The progress bar becomes this unpredictable creature going from 5 to 60% in a heartbeat, and then stalling at 89% for an eternity. The finale, the ever so helpful "something went wrong" message. No details, no explanations, just the mocking ambiguity while it removes the updates it just installed. Well, now every once in a blue moon, after enduring this electronic version of waterboarding, you'd think maybe, just maybe, this will be worth it. But nope, those updates are nothing more than the mere rearrangements of icons, or, my personal favorite, removal of that one feature you actually liked. Oh, and let's not forget the unsolicited tutorials. That's right. After an update, my computer feels the need to give me a tour like it's some fancy new house. Look here, we've moved your files to where you can't find them. Enjoy, as if that's something to celebrate. And can we talk about the sheer audacity of forced restarts? Do you want to restart now or try again in an hour? Where's the leave me the hell alone and never ask me again option? Clearly, our sadistic computer overlords enjoy watching us squirm as they repeatedly remind us of our impending doom. In a world where we can have self-driving cars and rockets to Mars, why are we still held hostage by the erratic whims of the update gods? If I wanted this level of unpredictability, I'd take up something like weather forecasting. In the end, after all these grinding gears, endless progress bars, and countless cups of anxiety-induced coffee, you're left with a new and improved system that suspiciously looks like the old one, but now with more bugs. But hey, at least we got that new emoji, right? All right, fellow sufferers of the digital age, here's the painfully obvious bottom line. Update your damn computer. Yes, I know, I've spoken many times about the torments of technology, but if you want to dodge the absolute carnival of chaos that comes from running outdated software, just hit the bloody update button. I mean, if you enjoy the sweet symphony of random crashes, data breaches, and the nagging feeling of impending doom every time you turn your computer on, by all means keep things vintage. But for the rest of us who value some semblance of sanity, stay updated. Or don't, it's your funeral. Well, just remember this. While you're blissfully cruising through your digital life, ignoring sound advice, you're basically mooning the universe and begging for a digital kick in the pants. When that day comes, don't you dare say I didn't warn you. So take a minute, yes, an actual minute, out of your hectic schedule of cat videos, social media scrolling, and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell like you want to strangle that little update reminder. This has been the Grumpy Sysadmin, wondering why common sense is such a rare commodity these days. Stay irritable, and until next time, remember, updates are less about getting new features and more about not letting your machine turn into a technological dumpster fire. Good night and good luck.